Hello. All right. So this is my week 53 check-in in the Half Size Me community. It's been 53 weeks since I reached out to the community and said, help, I'm outside of my weight maintenance range. I gotten up to 164, 165. My cap was 160. And I wanted to get back to the low end of my weight maintenance range, which is 150. So we're now on week 53. I had lost 17 pounds over the course of this last year. Took a couple months at maintenance breaks and slow deficit. It averaged out to be like 1.7 pounds per month. Excuse me. I just took my measurements this week. I had lost a total of 8 inches off all body parts, of course, thighs, arms, waist, hips, which is really, really good. And I was happy with that. So I have been trying to transition into maintenance without counting calories. So basically, I think it was since June 15th, I have been not tracking calories. I lost the last chunk of my weight not tracking calories. I've done really well with learning how to eat when I'm hungry, stop when I'm satiated, and the weight has done well. And then in the last 22 days, I have chosen to remove sugar and flour from my diet as an experiment to see how I would feel. As I've shared before in other videos, I am in perimenopause and I have noticed some changes in my body, so I've done that addition as well. So a lot of cool things happening, right? Hit my goal. Ultimately finishing it out, doing something I never thought possible, which was not tracking calories or points. Although I did do that for part of this last year, so I kind of did a hybrid of several different things, which if you know me, that doesn't matter. What matters is your mindset, your willingness to take a caloric deficit, whether you're choosing to track calories or not. But now I'm in this new situation. I'm trying to establish maintenance without tracking calories. Now this is proving to be, to me, a lot more difficult, and I'll explain why. When I am eating when I'm hungry, stopping when I'm satiated, and I'm eating a lot of no sugar, no flour products, my weight has stayed more stable and continued to decrease than it ever has. And I was noticing, even going into this week, my average weight was still trending down. So I was losing more and more weight. So I chose, and you're going to be like mind blown about this, I actually chose on purpose to stall out my weight loss. What I had noticed since starting the no sugar, no flour thing is one day I made cornbread with cornmeal and ground up oat flour, and I had 2 pieces. And my weight the next day had gone up just a hair, not much, but just a hair. So I knew my body had responded differently to that food versus all the other things I had been eating. So what I chose to do this week on Thursday was to make the cornbread again. And this time I chose to have 4 pieces. So in my 8 app, I had oatmeal for breakfast. I had vegetable lasagna with salad for lunch. I had my Greek yogurt cheesecake, and then I had 4 pieces of cornbread and then my protein smoothie at night. And I will tell you now that 4 pieces of cornbread left me really full. I felt like there was like a lead weight in my stomach. And what I was wanting to do is experiment with 2 things. 1, I wanted to stall out my weight loss, and 2, I wanted to see what it would feel like to be really full, like to feel full but not feel like I had binged or overconsumed. And it was a very interesting feeling because in this last 3 to 4 months, while I've been eating hungry, stopping when I'm content, I recorded videos on this as well, I've noticed my portions had way cut back. So it's really been a while since I have felt full or like very heavy, like a heaviness in my stomach. And I wanted to experiment with that as well. So a lot of this is experimentation, right? It's figuring out, 1, what foods create certain responses in your body. 2, it's allowing yourself to feel the different, the different responses of, I'm slightly hungry, feeling a little hollow, losing weight, versus I feel really content, maybe a little too stuffed. I even skipped dinner that night because that's how full I physically felt. And you have to kind of retrain yourself on all this. And that's probably the hardest part. It's time consuming, right? You have to become self-aware. You have to be willing to try different things. You have to be willing to, see the scale go back up, things of that nature. So my body did its normal response. The next day it went up a little. 2 days later, it went up even more. I've done a video on this as well. Heather, why when I overeat carbohydrates or sodium or eat more calories, does my weight, even if I do everything normally the next day, why does it do what it does? Our bodies all have these responses. So my body's response to higher calorie, higher carb days is it goes up a little the next day, goes up even more the second day, and then it starts to trend back down. So I knew that would happen. And ideally, I'm trying to maintain my weight at less than 150 average pounds. So that's where I'm at right now. And that actually worked. I got a chance to feel overly full. Didn't love it. I haven't had that feeling in a long time. And it obviously played out the way I thought. So now what I'm going to be trying to do as I go into this next 2 weeks, or next week, is to try to find some kind of a balance with it. I'm still trying to figure out what maintenance feels like in my body. Not overly full like this week, not in a deficit like week 1 where I was still losing, but where is that middle ground? And that is proving to be elusive because it's a feeling, right? It's not a number. If I was tracking to a maintenance number, then it's an external thing that I'm trying to hit to make my body do something. But I'm actually trying to feel it in my body so I know, okay, I clearly know what a deficit feels like. I now kind of know 4 pieces of cornbread creates that feeling of uncomfortable fullness. So now I need to kind of find where in the middle would be maintenance, being comfortable in maintenance. And you sometimes have to be willing to do that. Okay, I overate a little bit today. Now I know what that uncomfortable fullness feels like. So now I kind of have a point of reference to scale back and see where a maintenance feels good in my body. So I just want to share this with you, just a personal update. Been maintaining my weight below 150. Like I said, 8 inches lost. Playing around with this whole maintenance and not tracking calories, enjoying the no sugar, no flour. By the way, when I say no sugar, no flour, I use sugar substitutes. I should be totally transparent with that. I use oat flour. I would use coconut flour, almond flour. So I'm still eating, my eating really doesn't look very different at all other than my nighttime protein smoothie. I'm not putting Captain Crunch or Cocoa Puffs in that. Instead, I'm using raisins, which I'm loving. Raisins are so good. Good frozen. They're really, really good. I'm doing my hard shell topping. I'm doing nuts, obviously fruit, and sometimes I'm getting Russell Stover sugar-free chocolates to put in there. Those are really good too. So those are that's one big change. And then I usually would use Olay Wellness wraps to make like pizza pockets and stuff. I have temporarily taken those out while I'm doing this. And I just have been doing like pizzas on portobello mushrooms or my pizza omelets, things like that. So, but really that's it for me. I'm not a huge prepackaged food eater. I used to be. This would have been a very difficult thing for me to have done at the beginning of my journey. I'm glad I didn't try it. But at this point, with my eating being refined in many, many ways over years, it doesn't feel very difficult. So anyway, I hope you had a fabulous week, and I will be back more with my experimentation on learning how to maintain while not tracking calories and seeing if I can figure this whole thing out for myself. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.